Hey everybody. I hope you'll forgive me if I stutter a little bit, but I'm not very good at these one-way conversations, but I'm going to give it a go anyhow. With that said, I'd like to make a few comments about the video I just watched of a little Chinese girl getting struck by two cars and people walking by and doing nothing to help out the little girl. Um, I was looking at some of the comments, and quite a few of the comments are saying things like, the Chinese are animals. How could they do this? It's so despicable. Well, I'd agree with most of that. But I'd like to take it one step further. When you're talking about the animal kingdom, even animals, if they come across one of their own who is injured somewhere out in the wild, they will usually lend some kind of support, like maybe stop and lick the animal's wounds, or maybe share some food with it or whatever. So if you think about it, these people in the video who did not help this little girl in any way, are actually worse than animals. And so with that said, I'd like to, move on to the next point, I guess, make this short. Another thing in the comments, people are saying things like, you can't really judge all the Chinese based on the actions of the few that are in this video. And maybe you can't. Maybe you can. Maybe it's right to do it, maybe it's not. I don't know, but I do know this. I do know that it's pretty much human nature to judge people based, groups of people based on the actions of a few people in that group. Because, we really don't have time to go out and interview everybody in the group to see what the entire group is about. So I think it's part of our nature to do that. I think animals do it, and I think we humans do it. The thing is, in this, like I said, excuse me for stuttering, but in this video, people are saying that you shouldn't. Not in the video, about the video. People are saying you shouldn't judge an entire group based on the actions of a few. Well, let's look at it this way. Let's try and look at it as if it were just an opinion poll, where you have you randomly select a few people from a group, and you ask them several questions, or one question, and judging upon the responses you get from these people, you use that to make a judgment on a group of, how a certain group of people or think about something. Okay, well, let's say this is an opinion poll, and we asked 20 people from a group, say this phrase, a group of Chinese, we asked 20 people, would you stop, and if you were walking down the street, would you stop and saw, if you were walking down the street and you saw a small girl crushed and bleeding on the side of the road, would you stop and lend a hand? And we asked 20 people that question. That would be the drivers of the two vehicles that hit the little girl, and then the 18 people that passed by and did nothing to help her. And they all answered the question the same way. No, we would not stop and help a little girl crushed and bleeding on the side of the street. Now, if you look at those results, you would say that out of the 20 people we asked, 20 people said no. That is 100% of the people asked the question answered a particular way. So I guess you wouldn't be wrong in judging that, as they do in opinion polls, that this is how this certain group of people feel about something. With a margin of error of 3 or 4%. So we could say that based on these poll results, 100% of Chinese would not stop and help a little girl crushed and bleeding on the side of the street, give or take, with a margin of error of 3 or 4%. So we might say 96% of Chinese would not help a little girl crushed and bleeding on the side of the street. Well, whatever, I might be silly. This point of view may be silly, but it's kind of the way I'm looking at it right now. And it's too bad that it is that way. But anyways, last point I'd like to make is that, you know, us in the West, we hear a lot about the superior Asian values, how they're better than Western values, and you know, we have Chinese leaders telling us, you know, well, Asian leaders in general, Chinese, Japanese, Filipino, you name it, telling us that their Asian values are better than our Western values. Well, to that I'd like to say, just look at this video. That gives you a very good idea what Asian values are about. Just think of this, you know, our Western values, if we were walking down the street and saw a little girl crushed and bleeding, we'd probably have to stop and help her, you know, and that would, you know, waste time out of our busy days. Whereas if we embraced the Asian values, like Asians, well, you know, Asian leaders are always telling us we should, we could just walk right on by as they did and wouldn't, you know, and just let her bleed there and die, and we wouldn't have to waste any of our time. So, you know, folks, think about it. Maybe we should look a little bit more into what Asian values are all about. Maybe we should adopt them. Who knows, you know? I don't know. But my personal view would be, if that's what Asian values are all about, you can count me out. No, thank you very much. Anyways, I hope this video disgusted and made you sick just like it did me. I think every person in this goddamn video, I don't want to get into that because it upset me too much just watching it. I don't want to get myself all worked up now. Anyways, thanks for watching my video. Sorry that I stammered and stuttered and blah blah and fell all over myself. But anyways, that's my 2 cents or 2 yen or 2 won or whatever you want to call it. Take care, everybody. And try not to hate too much. I'm doing my best. Bye.